I think games are such a wonderful piece of human history that needs to be studied and repeated and cherished for as long as we breathe, for as long as the human race is available on Earth and beyond. And beyond! Okay, so welcome back to YumeJourney. This has been a video that's been circulating on my YouTube, but I do want to make a react/analysis out of it because I think this is a very important video for a lot of people out there who's in the Souls community, right? Who likes Souls game, who wants to understand more about the game itself, like why it's so addicting, why it's such a great game. And let's just, listen more to this person who's about to talk more about the game and we can just enjoy it together. Okay, so let's start.
One of the things I have against video games is video games can expand to consume the amount of time you allot to it.
If you let it,
that can destroy you.
When I was a kid, I would sneak across this exact street to my neighbor's house with my Nintendo console, cords, games, controllers, everything. Why? Because my parents would give me max of 1 hour a day to play games, but if I could just get across the street unnoticed, I could game for hours.
Yo, that is so relatable, dude. My God. I remember a time where I used to have my consoles and my TV in my room, right? So I would just play a game till late at night, and one day my mom noticed and no, you're not doing that anymore. You can't play games for hours and hours on end. And then she moved my consoles and my TV to the basement because the basement is close to my mom's room, right? So then I would have to play there so she can, clock in when I first started, playing the game that day and when I ended. So that was so annoying. That is exactly what I have, experienced back in the day. So yeah, if not me yapping, let's continue some more.
Weirdly, if I wanted to spend all day just mindlessly watching movies or TV, that was totally fine. So why not video games? Because my dad always said,
video games are an absolute waste of time.
You okay, Dad?
Well, now that it's been 20 years, I started an experiment. 9 months ago, my dad agreed to play Dark Souls as his very first video game ever played live on stream for the entire internet to see. Oh, baby.
Wow. Wait. I didn't realize that. That's his first game ever? Dark Souls is his first game? Dude, the only reason I was able to survive Bloodborne was because it's my 1000th game probably, right? I'm used to the controls. I know how it goes. I know where the basic things of what I need to do in a game, right? It's like second nature to me at that point. That's how I was able to survive a Souls-like game, basically. A SOULSBORNE game, to be exact. To have Dark Souls as the first game he's ever played, that's something else, man. I can't even fathom that. That's such a steep learning curve, right? There's so many things you need to do to be able to enjoy a game in the first place. You gotta be able to learn the controls. You gotta have a knack for it. You gotta have sort of a sense to just play a game, right? That's crazy.
Dead asylum.
The Bruce is
I'm in the
loose.
asylum.
All right, so I'm actually on my way to go see him to hold up my end of the deal for him agreeing to do all of this. Because I'm basically United Healthcare with how I've monetized this senior citizen's suffering. This was gonna be a test of game design, of my dad's patience, and the preconceived notions a lot of people have of the value of just a good video game. What has happened since then was the greatest gaming playthrough in history, and has completely altered my dad's perception of video games, his views on internet culture, and even changed our relationship as father and son. Let me take you through his experience of Dark Souls as his very first video game ever played.
Look at the dance, dude. Giga Dad, bro, that's so cool, man.
First question, how good were you at the game when you started playing?
Probably the better question is, how bad was I?
Those of you who remember the beginning of this playthrough, remember that this is the kind of high-octane gameplay that we were running for hours at the start.
Right, I hit that.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
As hard as I can, it still doesn't go down. The most difficult.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. dude, you're playing a game for the first time. You're gonna assume that a wall will move when you walk to it, right? That's like wow. And you're playing Dark Souls for like the first time. That's insane.
The difficult thing at first was camera work, figuring out how to get the camera to do what I wanted, because that camera directs where your character goes. And I remember directing the camera and ending up banging into a wall. And then I'd think I got it fixed and I'd bang into the exact same.
Hold on. So the way his like, you know, let me just move myself again. My God. Okay, I'll just put myself there. So that's actually quite a high analysis too, right? I guess that's what you get when you're like, you know, you're trying something for the first time with like experience in life, with like, you know, age, I guess. Because let me just move myself. My God, let me just move myself again, because I don't think this is quite nice. Let me just put myself here so, like, you know, you can see the name there. Okay, cool. So what I'm getting here is that this dude is playing a game for the first time in his life, in his old age, and the game that his son picked for him was Dark Souls, one of the hardest games ever. And right, like, he needs to learn how to control a game for the first time then as well. And the first thing he does is analyze how he can control a game, and he controls it through the camera, basically, right? Because if you face that way, you can go that way. Slightly incorrect, because even though you're still facing to the right, you can still move your character to the left, right? But to make it easier for him, he will direct the camera where he needs to go, and then he will move forwards to that. That's one way of cutting it, right? That's high analysis from his part, from Giga Dad, right? So like, yeah, wow, okay, let's continue.
But it was impressive if you were able to recognize that it even was the same wall again, because most of the time it was just the same wall. You didn't know.
I hit them seconds apart, so it was pretty.
Bing, 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 just ping pong. Yeah.
Bong. Dang, why isn't this working? I'm doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
We take it for granted how intuitive it feels to use this, because we've been, you know, moving the character with this stick and looking with the camera with this stick since
my
Halo.
point, dude.
But in 2000, before Halo was even released, Alien Resurrection came out using the exact same controller scheme, which GameSpot's review famously called completely unplayable because of the controls.
Come on,
and I threw this
dude.
man into an already difficult video game with a confusing controller scheme that he didn't even know existed. This is what's called an Xbox controller.
Yeah, I recognize that.
You've
That
seen
is
me
an
touch these
Xbox
before and use
controller,
them.
Giga
An
Dad.
X-boss of the game, moving and looking around.
Look at
These
how
two
buff
sticks
he
right there.
is.
These two sticks right here.
Those are you put your thumbs there.
Put my thumbs there.
The one on the left,
Aw,
that's going to handle
that's
the
so
direction your
cute,
character
though.
walks. He walks left, he walks right. But let's say you want to look around in the room. The
What
right
the
stick
fuck
is
is
going to
that
handle,
face,
think of it
man?
like your character's head. You know,
Oh,
you're
so
looking.
You're panning to the left or to the
Pan to
right.
the left, pan to the right.
Up or down. You can look up your nose.
You can. So you heard that Dark Souls was a difficult game. I did not like hide that from you. So what did you expect?
No, you didn't hide it from me. You kind of threw it in my face
Yeah, I
and
did.
said, "This is
As he should.
gonna make you into a man." That's what you basically said.
First boss?
Get him!
Get him how? What weapon do I have?
You have a broken sword in your hand.
Where's my broken? Oh,
You just stand. No!
how do I attack? You didn't tell me.
Oh. What did you expect then from when I said, people said, oh, it's a difficult video game. What did you expect a difficult video game would be like? Why would it be difficult?
I thought Halo was a difficult video game because I could not maneuver at all.
Oh, so it's not his
One
first
thing
game.
I didn't expect was that I would need to have your intimate coaching as to where to go. I thought it would be a little more intuitive to know, oh, I turn right here or left, or I jump or whatever. Again, using the controller, I eventually learned how to jump and how to roll and how to do those things. And some of them I used a lot, some of those features, and some of them I should have used a lot and just would forget about. I was struggling just to be able to play the game, not really play the game.
I can't even imagine, being someone who is not, game savvy, and then having Dark Souls as one of his games to ever play, right? That's mind-blowing to me, and I'm assuming he finished it, right? Oh yeah, he did. My dad beat Dark Souls as his first game. It changed him. It would change me too, man, if that's my first game. Holy shit. Even Bloodborne is not my first game, and it changed me as a person. I wouldn't be content creating if I hadn't played Bloodborne, to be honest. But yeah, let's continue.
Wrong.
How did it change as you went through your playthrough, how you interpreted difficulty? Because at the beginning, you were just difficulty as just like using the controller. But then for even people that know how to use the controller, they consider Dark Souls difficult. So did it change for you as you got more comfortable with the controls, what you considered why it was difficult?
Again, I had nothing to compare it with. Is lemon sour? If you've never tasted anything else, you go, oh, it's not sour.
Oh, he's a smart dude, this guy.
We're alive. Oh.
I like the way he explained things.
So now we're dead. It's crazy.
That's what I mean.
That's the way you started with Dark Souls. And now, like, literally, there's so many other games in the world that are so much less punishing than that game. So you're just kind of like, well, of course, I died and everything respawns and all my progress is gone. Like, of course.
I died. Yes, exactly. That is exactly. Oh, I don't spawn. And sometimes when I spawn, most of the time when I spawn, all those guys I just killed, guess what? Gotta do it again.
Do it again.
And I have to go back to where I started a while ago, and I have to fight my way back to where I was. Oh, hey.
What? Incredible.
You missed me the first time. Now, wait a minute.
Oh, that's because, wait, let's repeat that. I think that's what he meant, right? Because he got hit, and then he was like, in a crouch position. No, he's in a laying position, and he didn't get hit. So that way his brain assumed that, he won't be hit if he just stands there.
Where I was. Oh, hey.
See? It doesn't hit him. So if he just stands there, he assumes it's not gonna hit.
Incredible.
The hitbox is not gonna hit him.
Now, wait a minute.
I was like wondering, why isn't he moving earlier? And he was like, okay. That's just basically the intuition talking again, right? That's crazy, dude. He doesn't have the intuition yet.
Is there no credit for anything before? No, none at all. Other than you've gained a little experience and you know how to do it maybe a little better.
Yep, exactly.
But, oh, yeah. I didn't appreciate the difficulty of the game because, again, I had no frame of reference.
We live in... It was incredible.
One of the things I really appreciate about it, in real life, when you die, it's over.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You failed.
And there, when you die, you don't really die, you just lose. And so you get to respawn and try again. That is interesting because in the real world, if you try to do something and fail at it, which you do all the time, it's not that you die there, it's that you fail and you have to go back and try it again.
If you get that chance, a lot of times in life you fail and it's like, that was it, or the second attempt, maybe you don't, it's not as impactful if you do succeed. It's, it's refreshing, you're right, in the sense that when you die, it's like everything does reset. So it's all like, it's like it didn't even happen.
Actually, 1 second.
Your mistakes are gone and you are the improvement that gets to go into the next attempt.
Yes. Now oh, hey, what the heck? Is that a treasure chest up there?
Yeah, a lot of people have asked me if I'm a bad son.
No, you are a bad son if you don't tell him about that, dude. You are a bad son, dude. Don't do that.
You're horrible.
Oh, well,
no, you're a wonderful son.
No, tell him.
Yeah,
tell him
absolutely.
About that.
What the heck?
Man, okay. Even I don't play Dark Souls. I haven't played Dark Souls yet, right? And I know that's a trap. It's that famous, right? I've been like, I've been wanting to play Dark Souls the whole time I've been playing Souls-like games. So I've been looking at YouTube for Dark Souls related videos, right? And that, the very famous, swinging swords, and this mimic is very famous. So like, it's so hard to miss. And everybody knows it's probably a mimic, right? So the fact that Babe 1 doesn't just, tell his dad that, it's a trap, you need to attack it first. That's like, my God, dude. You are a bad son in this moment, I guess. But yeah, let's continue.
Now, towards the end,
I was going to ask you.
towards the end, I was beginning to have expectations of myself.
Yep.
That I have gained some experience. I now know how to use the controller, and I now know how to roll or to jump or whatever. And I think, what a doofus! Why didn't you jump right then?
Yeah.
And so then I would punish your chair.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
That's
should have
the
swung at him.
gamer experience,
I
guys.
whacked your chair,
A lot.
and that was me being frustrated, not at the game, at myself. And I'm sure that everybody else has that same thing. They get frustrated with themselves. They're not angry necessarily at the game.
Well-
but again, I have no frame of reference to say that.
Well, you don't realize
no.
that there's a very
No, he hit it right on the head right there, because that's the point of playing a Souls-like game, right? That's the point of playing every FromSoft game, basically, right? You started out as a very bad, a character with bad stats, basically, right? The game just gives you nothing. It gives you a broken sword on the first Dark Souls, right? And you just have to power on through it. Become better with each, bonfire you lit up. Become better after every boss you defeat. Become better after, learning how a mob particularly is gonna like jump scare you or like jump you. After that, you learn to become better at it. So like when the game throws you a curveball, you know what to do. You are better at it. So without any frame of reference, Giga Dad has basically figured it out, and that's amazing, dude. Props to you, Giga Dad. Props to you, man. You are just very analytical of your own gaming experience. That's very good. Very good.
very good strategy in gaming, which is where you just blame the game, and that's it. And that's all you do. That's a very good way of protecting your psyche.
Any problem is the game's problem.
Exactly. In a lot of gaming, and especially in Souls type gaming, there's really like two camps of extremes. There's the get good camp. People that are saying the reason you died is because you need to be better, just play better. And then there's like the game sucks camp, where it's like the reason I died is because the game is poorly designed. And the truth is very much in the middle.
There's
Dark
no
Souls
way the game
speedrunning
sucks.
has had its fair share of legends. But what if I told you that the greatest speedrunner in gaming history finally picked up a controller like King Arthur pulling Excalibur from the stone on his first playthrough?
I
He's
like that
discovered
his, images
numerous
just
glitches
spin
to
into
aid
everything.
in his quest. Iron Golem, grab cancel. One frame item duping to get one more heal than he should.
Wait.
The Anorlando gravity glitch. This is how the world record for slowest Dark Souls speedrun was set.
Oh man, I like that a lot.
So there was some emotional moments, highs and lows of the whole playthrough, but I'm glad that you stuck it out, and everybody is, because you got to experience why games can be so engrossing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
dude.
for you, like when you had like
My
major
God.
boss victories, like when you beat like that gaping dragon, or when you beat Gwyn, or when you beat Ornstein and Smo, all these different bosses. Can you go into detail like what that felt like to have like your first actual like boss win in a game?
You want to know that when I beat the dragons,
Yeah. Oh,
And
the two bell
and I-
gargoyles.
The
yes,
gargoyles.
the gargoyle.
Very
and I
famous
had
boss
that
fight.
whatever that
Solaire.
Solaire. Had to
Sunbro!
get some help.
Dude, I knew you would say
And
that.
Solaire.
Wait,
Solaire
what did he
came
say?
And some help.
What do you say?
Had that whatever that
Solaire.
Solaire. Had to get some help.
Yeah.
And,
That's okay.
and Solaire came, and so when you made Solaire attack me and kind of forced me into killing him,
Wait.
I was going, yes, I'll have to do it on my own, which is what I always wanted to do to begin with.
Yeah.
What?
So that was an interesting cocktail of emotions when I killed Solaire and I realized I wouldn't be able to call him up and help me with anything else. But then I get to do it myself.
Why did you make him kill
is what I
Sunbro,
always
man?
did. Remember, on my career, I was a
You don't even need to be a Souls player to know that Sunbro is legendary. Why would you make him do that, dude? Why?
lone wolf out there.
Yeah.
I was
Wait, what do you say?
out on
Sorry.
I get to do it myself, which is what I always did. Remember, on my career, I was a lone wolf out there.
Yeah.
I was
see.
out on an island, just me. most of the time, 90% of the time. So I
So
got
he's
used to
always
that.
been alone.
So
I
you,
could always rely on me. I didn't like relying on someone else.
so you
Ah,
felt, would you agree
that's
that,
valid too. I mean, like, relying on yourself when you have to venture in through life is very relatable. I mean, I guess this is why a lot of people can relate to Dark Souls games, right? To FromSoft games. I feel like a lot of people can relate to FromSoft game a lot because they do tell you, okay, you are alone in this world. And which, in my case at least, I was playing Souls games for the first time when I was in a very deep depression. When I was like, just down in the dumps. I just realized that, you know what? My career might not be the thing that I've always wanted it to be. And I was at a point where my career disillusionment came setting in, and it was heartbreaking. It was gut-wrenching. I felt so lonely. I felt like there's nothing that, can keep me going. And lo and behold, Bloodborne came, and I learned how to not suck at that game. Slowly but surely, I became an eldritch god, basically, right? I learned how to become better at the game. I learned that, life will throw adversities at you, but you'll find a way to survive it. You alone has the capability to go through life and win. And that's the beauty of FromSoft games, right? And I guess he can relate to that as well. I guess, okay, I will never advocate, killing Sunbro or, any NPCs on FromSoft games because they're important sometimes, most of the times. They will give you quests, they will give you, aid, they will give you company. You can just talk to them and be like, okay, it's actually nice to accept help once in a while, right? Because there's nothing wrong with accepting help in a game that you're struggling in, to be honest. And there's nothing wrong with accepting help in real life as well, right? And that's the thing that I personally have learned from FromSoft games, right? Sometimes you have to go at it alone, and sometimes it's not wrong to ask for help, to accept help. So I kind of see where Giga Dad is coming from though. He relates more by being alone, and that's completely valid too. So yeah, that's actually, wow dude, this guy is so deep from playing his first, game, which is Dark Souls, dude. What the hell? Okay, I love this so much. I love this video so much, my god.
you prefer to play without the summons because it feels more rewarding that you pulled it off yourself?
And yes, actually, it does feel more rewarding because it's harder.
Yeah.
And
okay. So he did enjoy it because, he's always been alone. He enjoyed it because it's harder now. That's a true FromSoft player, man. That's a true FromSoft player. What the heck? Wow, Giga Dad.
And I endured difficulty, feel a tremendous sense of accomplishment. You were saying, how does it feel? How does it feel? Well, it was so new. I was checking out the feeling.
Yeah.
But I was very elated, and I felt like I had really accomplished something. So where I am, I'm dead.
Well, he's stuck on a pillar?
So to spam that heavy attack,
Spam it.
because we're not hitting him. That's kind of part of the issue. Keeps hitting him.
Hit
Keep
him in
spamming
the
that
dick.
thing.
Hit him in the dick.
then block
oh,
these.
no.
Yeah.
Heal.
I got no more
Now.
flasks.
No more flasks? Okay. Hit him in the dick. Hit him. How is it? Only 1 HP in a dream. Holy shit.
See how that stops him?
That's 1 HP in a dream. 1 HP in a dream. What?
Keep it going.
He's alive. How? How? Oh my god, what is going on? 1 HP in a dream, bro.
Got him.
Holy shit. Holy shit. That's
Wait a minute.
amazing, man.
Did I beat him or what?
Holy shit.
Knew that I had accomplished something in the electronic world, and when I turned off the
In the electronic world, my god, Giga Dad, I love your vocabulary, man. You are just goated, bro.
computer and walked out the door, nobody else knew what I had just done.
Right.
Except for the people that were doing chat wherever they are. And that's exciting to think that 700 people are watching me be a bozo out there.
Yeah.
But that was exciting, and it was very thrilling in a way that I have never experienced right before.
Really? So
Yes.
you haven't experienced that level of emotion in that capacity?
In that fashion, in that capacity.
I mean, like, for me personally, like, even having, because I'm a small streamer myself, right? I think my record viewer was around 27, 29. That was already pretty crazy for me. Imagine this guy who has never, played a game before, and suddenly there's 700 people, as he said, watching him play a game that is actually one of the hardest and one of the most acclaimed games ever made, and he's beating it slowly but surely, right, as intended. But he started to learn the joy that, you know what, for the first time, maybe, even though I'm playing a game, there's people witnessing me playing the game, and that felt wonderful, and I relate to that. Because during my Celebrate stream, last time I was trying to beat Scarlet. I think I only had like 5 viewers a few weeks ago. And one of the viewers stuck with me all the time. This one senpai, he kept telling me like, yeah, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, you can do this better, because he's beaten Scarlet already, right? On hard difficulty, I think. And I was like, oh my god, I finally beat a hard boss, an excessively hard boss on stream, and people are watching. And I felt that so much when Giga Dad said that. Because I also had, a great time beating Lady Maria on Bloodborne, beating Melania on Elden Ring. But nobody was there to see it. But now I do have people to see it. And it was elation. It's true that he said it's elation, when you're playing a game and it's so hard to beat someone, and then you streaming at the same time as well, and having you guys there, that's magic to me, man. I never had that kind of experience before. To be able to share my joys with you guys, and you guys being happy for me as well, that's incredible. And I love that Giga Dad got to experience it as well, with I'm assuming a very, very positive community as well, because the Souls community has been nothing but positive to me, at least, right? So I'm happy that he gets to experience it as well, and he gets to play this wonderful game, a game that I will play one day. Trust, okay? On stream too. Please don't yell at me when I play the game badly, though.
It was a different feeling than I'd felt.
Do you feel like you got better at the game as time went on?
Yes.
In what ways?
Yeah,
what was the
that's
things
the
that you
point, man.
I learned to, initially, I never really managed my health. I didn't manage my health.
I said
Oh, you mean he's not watching his HP bar? Oh, why did he heal?
Oh, I got my thumb on it right now.
Oh, he was about to.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And finally, I started managing my health a little bit, and I would heal up, and then I would wonder why, when I'm hitting him, I'm not doing any damage. And you're telling me it's because you don't have any stamina. Like, what do you mean?
I see.
I'm hitting that thing.
Oh, he thinks
here.
his stamina is
Good.
his health bars. Well, man,
You
there's so
said
many
it's
things
the
he
other,
needs
the
to,
green
learn.
little bar, and I go, I got to look at that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it took me a while, and learning to manage the health and the stamina was one of the more difficult things. You asked me what was difficult. Those two were difficult.
Those two were difficult. Hi, Giga Dad.
As we played through the game, did you like the fact that it was live, or did you come around to enjoying that there was a third component? Because there was you and me playing games, and then there was
And
also
chat.
people watching online. Did you take it or leave it, or did you come to enjoy the fact that there was this third character involved in the experience?
Oh, I thought it was really cool that people would want to watch me. I did. I would go home and tell my wife that, yeah, there were 300-400 people watching me, whatever it is I did.
Yep.
And I would often follow that up with a comment that says, I can't understand why they do that.
Why do they
It's
watch
because
that?
it's
I'm
fun to
getting a
watch you,
better
man.
feel
Because
for
people has experienced playing that game before. They played it differently. And now they get to experience in a different way again, all over again. And they get to cheer on people who had the exact difficult moment that they did when they played that game. That's why I watch a lot of Bloodborne streamers, right? I watch a lot of new Bloodborne streamers. And a lot of Elden Ring streams as well, right? Because I can relate to the pain. I can relate to the, difficulty. And the elation that you feel after, defeating a hard boss. And that's exactly why we watch you stream, Giga Dad. Because it's fun to watch you stream and become better at the game, dude.
And those are some of the next questions I actually wanted to ask you.
I was delighted when I finally started noticing that there were comments coming in.
On chat?
Missed Ornstein and oh yeah, you really missed it, dude.
It was hype.
Spitfire. Yeah.
Oh,
it
he
was
replied
awesome.
to chat.
Epic.
Spitfire,
Epic even.
he read your chat and said your name. I don't think you've ever done that ever.
Oh, he actually never done that.
He has never said, "Hey, Spitfire, good message." Like that was
I'd never
hype.
done it. You're right.
Well, when we started, there was like 5 people watching. Do you remember the max amount that we hit?
1,300 or something.
1,400 something. So I wanted to
1,400.
ask you, why do you think people found that so fascinating and still do, watching you and I chill and watch and play
Because we
video games?
relate.
If you
That's why.
remember when we started this,
Yes, I do.
we
Verbally
you were-
assaulted our followers
Yes,
many
I said,
times.
What are you
Why would
people
you?
doing? Go get a life. And
Oh,
that was
okay,
a comment
Giga
that
Dad.
I would make often, that
Yeah.
you need to get a life. I understand
Oh,
that
that's
a
so
little
old
bit,
school,
but
bro.
I still question the sanity of they who would want to watch some yahoo like me, who you know is going to fail. But then I realized that from what you're telling me, they went through the same thing.
Exactly.
And they're living it again through me.
Like I was going to ask you,
Exactly,
what
sir.
if, let's say, you know, one of your kids, one of my siblings, decided that they were going to play Dark Souls? Would you want to watch that?
You would,
experience?
right?
Want to watch them
Wouldn't
play
that
it?
be fun?
I tell you what, you've invited my wife to play Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And she will do whatever.
If
and
my
if
son
I'm not here
decides to
watching
play
at the time, I would
Final
definitely
Fantasy
watch that.
X
So
in the future,
has
Final
your
Fantasy X.
opinion on online
bet
social
your bottom
interaction
dollar I would be
changed in
there
any
to
way
watch the whole
from this
thing.
experience? Just seeing also how wholesome the online community can be.
Yeah.
I told you,
You
right?
know, there's-
the
everyone's
Souls
very
community is
respectful.
awesome,
They seem
dude.
like reasonable people that have lives, and I have no problem with them following along. I'm happy that they're doing that. When I say that, I'm really exposing that my attitude has changed.
Oh, that's
I didn't
good.
say it quite.
That's what we want to hear, Giga Dad, because if at first you think like games are a waste of time, and then you get to see how amazing that, you know, it gives you character development, right? You know, after playing a game, you get to learn that, you know, it's not just wasting your time. It's not just, you know, mindlessly inputting, you know, commands and everything, right? It's actually learning more about yourself, how you analyze things, how you like to think about things. It's just like going to an art museum and then looking at paintings and get a certain amount of feeling from it, and then it changes you as a person. But the difference is you get to interact with it, you get to play with it, you get to do it the way you like it, the way that suits you the best. And I think that's why games are a beautiful piece of media, right? It's something that needs to be archived and collected for years and millennia to come, right? I think games are such a wonderful piece of human history that needs to be studied and repeated and cherished for as long as we breathe, for as long as the human race is available on Earth and beyond.
like that, but it has changed. I understand how people are interested in the video games. I understand now how it can be something that you would enjoy doing. Just like when I was a kid, I'd watch TV,
Yeah.
and this is your television.
I say it's much
more than that.
superior to
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah. It's far superior.
I think what you've learned, especially from this experience, is how engrossing and emotionally impactful and personally you're developing when you're playing a game. You're not just consuming content like a
Exactly,
TV is a one-way
exactly,
street.
right?
You're not a consumer. You're a participant.
You're a participant.
Yeah,
And
okay, that's a
Which
better
is
word to say. It's
significantly
participant.
different. Something I never had when I grew up.
yeah, and you're a participant not only from a gameplay perspective, but you're also a participant from a community perspective. You can see that people can jump on a live stream and make friends there. You don't really notice because you're not looking at chat too much, but people are often talking to each other. They're not just talking at us. They're,
Oh, okay.
yeah, they'll be like, hey man,
You
did you play
didn't
this
realize
game?
that.
Oh yeah, I did. What was your favorite boss? And they'll kind of chat with each other, and that's how they meet like-minded individuals that enjoy the same kinds of games.
And you are interacting in a real world sense. You're just not doing it in the same
Same room, same city.
Yeah, okay, Giga Dad just called us out there, I guess, because we're not touching grass when we're meeting people, but talking to people, I mean. But hey, step by step, right, Giga Dad? Just like a FromSoft game, dude.
Right.
And that is different than what I expected.
That's the exact
That's
point.
what it is. Yeah.
So people online, you basically just kind of find people online that you agree with, or you think they're funny, you think they're interesting. And so when you know that they're going to play a game that you like, or even a game that maybe you wanted to see, but you don't want to play yourself because you don't want to spend the time or buy it.
Right.
So you're like, oh, great. You know, that guy that I watch online is playing the new, you know, Oblivion remake. I'm going to go watch him play it because his commentary is funny and I want to see his experience playing it. So online, in the very same way, I think that's why people watched you. And I think at the same time, even people that have...
So like, you know, play Final Fantasy online because I don't want to be sucked in it. Because I know it's a great game and I know that I'm going to spend ungodly amount of hours on that game, so I just watch people who play it, and it's a wonderful game to watch, you know, people play. So I guess that's actually a very great point by Babe1 there.
Haven't played the game, I've watched it because I think it's just pretty wholesome, you know, father and son playing games.
Yeah. And I see the point of the father and son thing, because that is why I did this. I didn't, if someone else off the street had asked me to do it, I would have declined.
Some crackhead.
Well, don't play with guys on the street that you don't know.
I got Dark
Giga Dad. Don't play FromSoft with random dudes you don't know on the street.
Yeah, it'll be the best.
If it's your first game.
Play that. No.
If they'd have said it was the bomb, I would have started running thinking they had, you know.
What if you went into the tent and he had Dark Souls and there was also 1,400 people in there surrounding you, watching you play? Wouldn't that be even
exactly
more
what
fun?
happened to you, Giga Dad.
That's essentially what happened, but
exactly.
I didn't have 2,800 eyeballs on me. They had 2,800 eyeballs on the screen that I was also watching.
Yeah.
Which is different. There's
helps,
a layer in between.
True. Did you ever get nervous with having people watch you? No? You're a huge celebrity now, Dad.
I am.
Well, on YouTube, yeah, you got some people that watch it, that watch us. It's fun.
Yeah.
So is this still a waste of time?
There was a moment where you had, and you specifically requested Mom sit with you while you fight a boss. Why did you do that, and why was it impactful to you to have her there while you were doing it?
I remember that. I wanted my wife to have some experience watching me do that. So I was very steeped in video games are avoidable distraction.
Yep.
And she's beyond me on that.
He's even deeper down the rabbit hole.
And so
beyond what, sorry?
Video games are avoidable distraction.
Yep.
And she's beyond me on that.
He's even deeper down the rabbit hole.
So I wanted her, and I'd been spending a lot of time with this, so I wanted her to sit down and watch.
Oh, he wants her to understand that it's not a waste of time.
And there's a
That's
fifth
amazing,
one somewhere,
dude.
Aaron said.
No, that's it. That was it. You did it.
So
That's amazing, dude.
Motive.
So he's trying to help his wife understand that it's not just a waste of time, even though we both used to think that it is. Now I have a changed person, and I want you to change as well, if you will, if you'd like, by showing her that, you know what, look at this fun game, it's actually meaningful. Man, I love this. I love this video so much, dude.
I did.
Yes.
Just kind of interesting.
Yes, and I thought of that later as Aaron.
Yeah.
He's me.
You were like, I'm spending a lot of time, but I'm experiencing a lot that's very meaningful to me, and it's intense, and I'm having all these experiences. It's been fun, and I don't like the idea that she might be thinking that I'm just wasted my time. You want her to see it. You're like, see, look how intense this is and how much I've learned. You want them to understand.
And it's not so how much I've learned. It's growth that your relationship with me has experienced, and with Angelica and with your wife. I mean, to me, family is the reason I do just about everything. Remember my granddaughter, she's family, and all of my other kids, we spent yesterday afternoon with your sister and her husband. That's what we do, and this is all part of that. And
that's
I have
wonderful.
The benefit
I love that
I've
so
learned quite a
much.
bit about video games as a result, and I'm certainly okay with that.
Man, I love that so much, dude. There's more? Gwyn. Oh, Soul. Final boss fight.
Let's go.
Okay, he's showing us.
Lord of Cinder versus Dad, Lord of Giga.
Oh, is this where we hear the pling plang plong? Oh, he's changing the music.
It's going
No
well.
pling plang plong?
Not either.
Oh, he's getting...
Gosh, who is this?
He's Gwyn! Even I know who he is. Giga Dad. right? You've been playing the game. Oh, maybe he's not reading the lore. It's fine, Giga Dad. You can watch Vati video. It's fine. He died just like that.
Hey,
it's pretty normal.
you got a hit on him.
Oh, look, he's wearing the Kai Sanat armor. My God. Giga Dad, you are just made to become like, you know, a big streamer. My God. That's awesome.
I do have 6. I'm the youngest. No! All the rolling in the world.
What happened?
He grabbed you.
Dang it. Oh, I was trying to.
Oh,
Now he's got me.
This coffee tastes extra good now that I'm watching this. My God. You okay? Are you alright?
yes, Dad.
Wow, he beat the game!
I got him.
He beat it!
Dude, you
That's
did
all
it.
the happiness
How
he
did that
expresses.
You whacked him. When you got to the end of the game, and it was you against the final boss, and there was struggling going on, and there was eventually that moment where it worked. You know, walk me through your experience of that final boss and what it felt like to actually finish and beat your first game.
That's a really good question.
That's crazy, dude.
Because I have no
That is
comparative
crazy,
for that.
bro.
That is the first experience I have had of that in my life. So it was interesting. I was fighting Gwyn, and he owned me for.
Oh, he uses own now.
3 separate visits for me in working with it and doing that. And I don't know how many hours, 8 hours, 8 hours to finally figure out what to do. And finally, when I did, I was pleased. I was proud of myself. Hey, I was able to implement
you should be proud,
things
man.
that you'd taught me and about
He's
fighting
not blocking
Gwyn,
against Gwyn.
because he was different than anybody else. And you know, I would
He's not
heal
blocking,
up
he's
right
just
underneath his
unga-bungaing
his
everything.
face.
My God.
Yeah, and I had tried
My
that
dude,
with others. It
you
was
are awesome.
successfully, but it wasn't quite as obvious. And so I did that, and I did what you suggested. And Gwyn went down, and I just kept hitting him and watching my health. And when I needed to, I'd heal up, and I'd hit him again and hit him again. And finally, he just stopped, and he died.
He just stopped.
I wasn't watching his
That's so
health.
funny.
I was watching mine. And
That's so
I
funny,
figured,
though.
you know, when he's done, he's done.
Yeah.
And he was. And so it took me by surprise that I got him.
Yep.
So
That's
I was
awesome,
pleased.
dude.
I can't say I ran around and you know, made a big deal about it. I was just kind of going, hey, wow, I did that. I
Yeah,
did
man.
that.
You did
with Aaron's
great.
help. That was me. You didn't really give me a whole lot of coaching in that final battle.
You did great,
You
sir.
just kind of let me go at it, and I appreciated that. And so it felt like an accomplishment in my career. I would feel the same sort of sense of accomplishment when one of the customers I was working with went live on their accounting system. You realize
Accounting
that, you know,
system.
you really did something. So I felt like had accomplished something that was really cool to do.
Well done, Giga Dad. Okay, wow, that was such a wonderful video, dude. Babe won. Amazing job. And amazing job from Giga Dad too. My God, dude. That is crazy, man. That is less like to have Dark Souls as your first game ever. As I said previously, I couldn't even imagine that, right? And to have someone who has such a negative thought on video games go through such an arc from like, okay, video games are bad, it's a waste of time, to someone who's like, okay, I just spent a wonderful time with my kid and I had such a great time with the internet itself as well, because he's able to interact with chat is able to, like, you know, support him, and having like, you know, a wonderful experience with the Souls community. That's what we want to see, right? And that's like what we want him to experience from like a Souls game. I love the fact that, you know, he slowly but surely, as FromSoft intended, I guess, like, you know, learn to play how to control the game, how to, you know, overcome adversities, and just, like, you know, become better at the game. And if he likes to play at it alone, then he got to have it. And when he needed help, he got help too from the game. And that's just how I think a FromSoft game is supposed to be played, right? If you need help, you ask for help. If you don't need help and you want the challenge, you go for it on your own. And that's a great metaphor in life too, because I think that's how FromSoft wants you to tackle life. Because sometimes you just can't fight life alone, right? Sometimes you need to ask for help, and it's okay to ask for help. And he did that. He asked Sunbro for help, and Sunbro was there for him. Solaire, the king himself, was able to help Giga Dad, and that's amazing to see, dude. And I want to see more from him. And for those of you who haven't checked out his channel or haven't checked out the video itself, please check it out, because I do believe that he deserves all the credit that that he has been receiving. Okay, let me just show you the video itself. Okay, so he's playing Elden Ring now with his dad. That's the video. That's the channel. Babe 1, Babe 2. How my dad beat Dark Souls as his first game ever, which is insane. Guys, please do check him out. It's wonderful. And I think, okay, I'm just gonna subscribe right now. Great. Okay. So yeah, that was such a wonderful experience to see, and I'm glad that he got to experience all of that by himself. Well, with his son, to be honest, with his son. And thank you so much for creating that video. That meant a lot to me, to see that someone who is like anti-video game become someone who's just like, you know what, this is such a wonderful experience. I want to do more of it now. Not that he's playing Elden Ring with his son as well. My god, dude. Thank you so much for that video. Okay, so this has been my first react video. I do enjoy making this, and I will be making more. And hopefully we'll get to see more wholesome stuff from the internet in the days to come. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in with me. This has been Dorimakun from YumeJourney, and peace out. Jane. Matane. See ya.